Hello friends, welcome back to another video, and happy last week of December, I guess. Oh, so weird that the new year is a few days away. Today is December 29th, and 2025 is just 3 days? I think it's 3 days away. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything I made in 2024. So I made a lot of stuff this year, and I honestly didn't realize how much I made until I made a list of everything, and I put together an album on my phone of like all the pictures of all the stuff I've made from January to now. So I'm pretty proud of myself, and I want to share that with you guys. So I'm gonna put pictures on the screen because most of the stuff is not with me right now. So I'm going to put pictures on the screen of the different things that I've made, and I'm going to kind of give highlights of each one and things I learned from it, or like new techniques that I learned, the yarn that I used if I really liked it or whatever. So if you've been watching my videos, you know that my husband and I have done a lot of moving around. In the last year, we did van life. At the beginning of this year, we started living in the van full time, pretty much, and that was pretty much February, like the end of January and February is when we actually hit the road and started traveling. So it's interesting looking back at these pictures and seeing like where I was when I made these things. Like I've got, New Mexico, I made this. Wyoming, I made that. I was in Colorado when I made that. Utah, and so it's pretty cool to look back and see those things. So, without further ado, we will start at the top of the year with the first thing I made in 2024. The patchwork zip sweater. Now, oh my gosh, this project was kind of hell, low key. Like it was not fun, and I was really just trying to rush through it to finish it, honestly. It was a commission that I had for a while, and by a while I mean maybe a couple months, that I was trying to work on, and it had a hood, it had a zipper that Reagan used the sewing machine to attach, because I don't know how to use the sewing machine yet. 2025, that's something that I want to learn. I also want to learn how to quilt, but it's multicolored. There was just a lot going on, and when I finally finished it, I was so thankful. So I made it for a friend who you can see in this picture is wearing the sweater, and he really liked it. He wanted me to recreate an old sweater that he had before that he lost. And I did a really good job recreating it, because like the squares and the colors were on point. It was a very flamboyant sweater. I was very glad to be done with it. It took way too much time, in my opinion, but a lot of techniques to start off the year. If I were to do it again, I would not do individual patches, because I did stock it in individual squares and then attach them all together and then put the zipper in and then add the hood and the sleeves and everything. Like everything was sewing. There's so much sewing to do. I would not do that again. If I were to do it again, I would figure out a way to color change, but like without having individual, you know what I'm saying? So I could just do it all in one. Anyway, that was the first project of this year in January. Also in January, I made Reagan, my husband, a wool hat, scarf, and later on I added on some gloves in the set of the same yarn. Now I don't know where the hat and gloves went, but I do have the scarf with me that I'll show you, because I don't have any pictures of this, and I don't really know why I don't have any pictures, but I do have the scarf with me, so I'll show you. It's kind of, this was in January, so it's it's kind of gross. But this I used Lion Brand. It was a different kind of wool yarn. It was a wool acrylic blend. At the time that I made this for Reagan, he was working a door-to-door sales job in Rhode Island, because we were up there visiting my parents. So he was like out knocking on doors when it was like 20 degrees outside, and I had to make him a set. So it's a really cool ombre line brand wool acrylic blend scarf, as you can see. And I used the stockinette, so I got the stockinette roll, and the hat and scarf match because I had enough yarn to make a set with it all. So it all has this like red, black. He really liked it. He looked really good in it, and it kept him warm, which was great because that's the point of making a set like that. Number 3, we're moving on to February. I've got my notes here. And so in February, I made this striped long sleeve shirt. So I've worn it a couple times actually, maybe 2 or 3 times since I made it. I don't wear it too much anymore because the yarn that I used, I would not use that yarn again. It was an acrylic blend. It was this weird shedding, shiny kind of acrylic. But it sheds a lot. Like I would wear like a camisole underneath because it's kind of see-through at the top, and it would just like have so much residue on the camisole or like in my hair when I would take it off. It just like wasn't great. But it was cute, and I was really proud to finish it. And that's when we started van life. That was like the first project that I finished when we were like in the van and really going. The next thing I made in February was a wool hat for myself, which I loved, and I still have it. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. But I don't need it now, obviously. You can see I'm squinting. It's like 70 degrees right now, December 29th. That's fine. Made that in New Mexico, wool ease yarn. It was like, I finished it probably in like 40 minutes. You know, it was just a chunky yarn that just worked up really quick. It was the Thick and Quick wool ease line brand. Love the pattern, love the colors. I just kind of stitched it up the back, just made one rectangle and stitched it one line in the back and then like kind of cinched it on the top of the head. Very, very easy, super easy gift if you wanted to make a hat. Love it, wear it all the time. Well, that's not true, but I did in the season of winter, and when we were in Wyoming, I wore it all the time then. I don't wear it now because the weather's not permitting, but then I made wool mittens for myself in March. We were in Wyoming when I made these, in Pinedale, Wyoming. It got down to 5 degrees when we were up there. It was crazy. I freehanded those pretty much. I definitely did some troubleshooting. I made a video about it on my channel. Actually, pretty much all these things that I'm going to mention have YouTube videos to go with them that you can watch if you want to. Yeah, I alternated stockinette and garter stitch to make the line of garter stitch, and that was fun. I also referenced one of Ava P's videos because she did a tutorial, and I didn't follow the tutorial really. I just took pointers on like the thumb, on how to like increase and decrease for the thumb part, but that was very helpful. And I used a wool and acrylic blend yarn that I got from Wyoming, or in Wyoming when I was there, from the cute little art shop. It was really cute and really cool. The mittens were warm, although they are mittens and hand knit with like chunky yarn. Like there's a lot of holes, you know, so like it was practical for warmth, especially if I had my hands in my pockets of my coat. It was still warm, but like on its own, it, you know, like it wasn't that great, and they stretch very easily, so I'll probably remake them at some point, but I really did like them. Next, in April, I made a mohair pullover, and it was my first time working with mohair, and it was light spun mohair, which means that it sheds a lot. So I had a lot of shedding. We were staying in a tiny house in Colorado at that point, and mohair was everywhere, so I had to clean that up. But it was really cute. I got some really cute pictures. I will say I have never worn this outside of these pictures I'm showing you of essentially the photo shoot that Reagan helped me take for me finishing the project. I've never worn this. Not that I don't like it. I love the color. Oh my gosh, I love that yellow color. It's itchy. It sheds. If I have the energy and mental aptitude, I guess, to frog this project, because it's gonna get so tangled as I'm trying to take it apart, instead of double stranding the mohair with the mohair, I would get the 24/7 cotton DK and double strand that with mohair. So it's not just a mohair piece. So maybe I'll do that. Oh my gosh, like that with like a white or a cream or even like a light yellow. Oh, that would look so nice. You know, I might have to do that because then I feel like I would wear it because it wouldn't be as itchy because it'd be with the soft cotton. We'll see. We'll table that for 2025. Now, I was very proud of this. In April, I started making my first granny square blanket. So it was my first time crocheting ever, and I decided to learn how to crochet granny squares. And I was working on this blanket for months. Finished it, gifted it to my friend for her wedding present, and it was wonderful. She loves it, I think. She sent me some pictures of it, and I'm very proud. In May, I made a granny square top. Now, this was the time we were in Washington, and we didn't have any money, honestly, in Washington. And so I had to be very, very resourceful with my yarn and the things that I was making because I couldn't afford to buy more yarn. I couldn't even afford to thrift yarn. It was very, very tight times. But I was also working a lot on the granny square blanket in May and in June. But I made this granny square top. I wore it twice. It would not fit me right now. But it was cute. It was a cute use of cotton yarn and honestly just something to do, which is really what I needed in that time. Now, the highlight of my year, I would say, is this next piece. In June, I made the linen top. I love this shirt. And I'm so proud of myself. I don't know how many times I've worn it. I don't know how many times I've washed it. And that is what I feel like is the best thing in a knit piece, a crochet piece, like whatever you're making for yourself, even a sewing, whatever. Like if you're making yourself a garment to wear that you have handmade, this was peak for me, and this is what I needed at this time too, because like I was so tired of making things like the mohair sweater, that and like the striped long sleeve that I made back in February, that I would make and I'd be proud of, and I'd try it on, take pictures, and be like, wow, this is great, and then fold it up, put it under the bed, and like forget about it and not wear it ever. And the linen top was the first. Oh, I have it. I literally could show it to you. I'm so sorry. It's in my closet right now. The pictures will be fine. Sorry. The linen top was that project for me. Oh my goodness, I loved that thing. I love it still. It doesn't currently fit because I'm pregnant, but it is amazing. It is amazing. So, yeah. Easily the favorite piece I've made this year. My own pattern. I freehanded the whole thing. I did this really cool increase at the like over the shoulder to make this tank top looking thing instead of just two rectangles sewed together like everything else I had made up till that point. I took my time knitting it. I used very thin yarn and very thin needles. I want to say it's 3.75 millimeters is the size of the needles that I used. It's wonderful. It was a linen cotton blend yarn that I got secondhand off of Lucky Sweater. And man, it washes well. With each wash, it gets softer. Like I can't say enough good about this shirt. Like I have literally no complaints, nothing wrong with it. Like it's great, honestly. Like I love it. So because I loved it, in the back half of June and in July, I decided to make more of it. And so I made what I call the organic top because it's not technically linen. But it's the same design, same concept. And I used the Lion brand 24/7 cotton DK yarn, which if you watched any of my videos in the summertime, I was raving about this yarn for so long. And so I essentially made the same thing, but in white, in cotton. And I made one for a friend of mine in Utah who was getting married at that time. I made one for her too, a lavender one, and she likes it too. So it's really cool to have something of my own design that I had made and loved and wore all the time, like all throughout the summer. It was amazing. And then From July to October, I honestly didn't work on much. I was pretty much grinding on the granny square blankets because I have another granny square blanket that I have not finished yet. Just different colorways that it's not included in here because I haven't finished it. It's not really a whip anymore. It's just kind of there. So yeah, but I was working on that the rest of the summer and then early fall. And then in October, I got my first commission that I had like in a long time. And so I made this rib vest, and it was my first project doing the 2x2 rib stitch, like incorporating the 2x2 rib stitch or any rib stitch in a project before. I learned a lot when I was making this. I'm really proud of it. So I learned how to do increases for like the front panels to make a V-neck, and I learned how to join the front panels from like a finished back square in like a very almost seamless looking, very neat join, if you know what I'm talking about. I didn't know how to do that before. I watched a tutorial. It was great. It was very helpful. I did a lot of improv on this one, but a lot of learning, a lot of first times on this project. I used the K and C essential cotton yarn. And yeah, this was a commission, and the friend that I made it for really, really likes it. So that made me very happy. And then in November, I finished my knit maxi dress. So this dress I technically started in April, and I knit all the panels, and I technically finished it. Maybe it was April or May. I think it was late April that I actually finished the dress, and I have a video on it about it on my channel. But I put it in November because in November it was when I finally wove in all the ends, and then I added a neckline to it to just bring it together because it had, since I made it in April, I didn't know how to do all the cool stuff, the increases and decreases that I know now. And so it just kind of had a plain, almost like this, what I'm wearing right now, just this boat, kind of just like, neckline like that. And I wanted it to be nicer, so I added almost like a mock neck to it, and it's really pretty. I wore it for Christmas Eve, and it was really cool. I'm very proud of that one. Also in November, I started working on this cardigan whip. It's still not done because I'm kind of stumped on it. I'll show a picture. But I am proud of I'm incorporating the techniques that I've learned at the back half of this year into this project here. So, we've got the rib stitch on the bottom, increases on the front panels to make like a nicer V-neck, and I'm using the K&C essential cotton. So the reason why I paused on this project is because of the colorway, honestly. I picked up these colors when I was kind of in a slump, and I started making one thing, and then I frogged it to make this, which I'm glad I frogged it because the thing I was making was just a simple, kind of just like what the mohair pullover looked like as far as boxiness and just like a regular pullover. So I'm glad that I frogged it to make something with a little bit more technique and a little bit more something, nicer to it. But the colors are beautiful. I love the colors looking at them. Now, if I think about me wearing them, I don't know if I love them so much. I really wanted to make a solid color cardigan, like a red or a royal blue or something. But when I picked out the yarn, I wasn't thinking about that. So I haven't finished it yet. I will eventually. And I'll probably gift it to somebody because honestly, I probably won't wear it because the colors just aren't right, but that's okay. Now here we are, finally, to December. In December, I made the recycled granny square scarves, which I made a video about 2 videos ago at the beginning of this month. And it was for a quick and easy Christmas gift idea type of video. And I recycled the wool ease yarn that I've had for a few years, honestly, that I got at the beginning of this year. And I made 2 other sweaters, frogged them both. This is its final form, and I'm so glad that I kept the yarn because it's great yarn. The Wool Ease Thick and Quick Line brand, amazing. and I gifted one of them to my friend Olivia, and she really likes it. I did that for Christmas, and so that was really cool to like repurpose yarn that I had laying around for so long, just in different forms that I would not wear, like a sweater that I just never wore type of thing. And now to repurpose it into something functional, useful, beautiful, and then to gift it is unmatched. It was wonderful. And then just last week, a week and a half ago, the final thing that I made for 2024 is a neck warmer for my husband as a Christmas gift. So this one, I'm super, super proud of myself for this again. I recycled the yarn from the organic top that I made in July. Because, like I said in that video, the last video that I made, I am now pregnant. I showed a picture of what the top used to look like on me in the summer, what it looks like on me now. Because this baby, that shirt does not fit no more. So I frogged it, which is okay. I was very, very proud of it when I made it. And I still have the linen. I still have the blue one intact. I'm not frogging that one. That one's amazing. And I wanted to recycle the yarn and make something for my husband for Christmas. So that was the 24/7 Cotton DK by Lion brand that I used. And I knit it into a neck warmer that I did. Like, I alternated the 2x2 rib stitch and stockinette. I made it like a rectangle and then just joined it at the end. And I did learn how to do a long tail cast on that one, because I thought that would make a difference with like making it sort of an infinity thing, so I wouldn't have to like do a seam, but I was wrong. But it did make it so that one of the ends wasn't tight, which was very helpful too. And I learned how to naturally dye using black beans, which was the first time I ever did anything with natural dye from plant matter or beans, like things from nature. And it was very, very fun, very, very easy, surprisingly easy, and I would 1000% do it again. Reagan loves it. He was so impressed. It was so cool for me to tell him the story on Christmas when I gave him the gift. He was like, "Did you buy new yarn? Did you make this?" And I'm like, "I made it. Let me tell you how." I was very proud. He loves it. He was showing it off to our friends at our small group, and yeah, it was really great. So that concludes everything I made in 2024. Now, quickly, I'm going to just go through highlights. The most used, the most loved, in my opinion, my favorite product that I made this year, you can already guess. The linen tee and the organic tee, it's kind of the same thing. Very proud of it. Most used, most loved, durable, great for any season. Like, it's a layering piece. It's a tank top. Like, I just love it. I'm very proud of myself with that. Learned the most during this project, and the best technique, in my opinion, judging me, is the rib vest that I made for a friend as a commission. I learned so much on that project, like 3 or 4 things, and it came out really, really well. And I'm very proud of myself for doing that. And for resourcefulness, the recycled scarves and then the neck warmer that I just mentioned, I think it's very, very important to be able to recycle yarn that you already have, or you just use what you already have beyond using what you already have. Getting yarn secondhand, thrifting it, not just buying it fresh. I mean, like buying fresh yarn from the store and then cracking open that seal of like the packaging. I love that. I love it. But also there's this beauty of like going to a secondhand art store, like a creative reuse center, or even just a thrift store. Sometimes thrift stores have some good yarn randomly. It feels really cool to repurpose something from something secondhand, from yarn secondhand. So yeah, I'm really proud of myself this year. I'm proud of all that I made this year. I did a lot. So thank you for watching. And I want to hear your favorite thing that you made this year in the comments. And goodbye 2024, I guess. Happy 2025. Happy New Year. It's weird. 2025 is weird. I think it's also, my husband and I were talking about, we think it's kind of weird with 2025 because that's when our baby's gonna be born in April. So it's not just like, oh, another year. It's like, oh, parenting, you know. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy New Year. Bye.